Have this little Escort in for a bit of suspension work. The main thing is you want to run 200 wide tyres and standard arches. The rear end, although it looks really low, the chassis of the car is not actually that low. It's just a standard arch is so much lower than an arched car. So at the start we're having a problem with on compression, the tyres hitting the arch. So what we actually did was we modified the wheel nuts and were able to move that wheel in 5mm, which gave us an extra, I think, 20mm of bump travel. I also packed down the bump stops, so just as the wheel hits the rear arch, about 15mm before the wheel hits the rear arch, it's starting to hit the bump stops. So on the rear we were sort of limited with bump travel, but we were okay in roll. Also on the rear it has progressive springs. I was able to work out at the right height it's at now, the spring rate is about 170 springs on the rear, which equals to about 176 hertz, which is good. It's sort of where it should be. At the front, the spring rate was 185s, which was worked out at about 165 hertz, so a little bit softer than the rear. But the customers actually changed to 225 springs, so now it's 1.8 hertz at the front. So now the front is a little bit stiffer than the rear, which it was the other way around, but not by much, very small amounts. Also at the front we had a bit of clearance issue as well. So in bump it was actually fine. The wheel can travel right up and it misses most of the arch, about 130 or 40mm of bump travel. But in roll, when the tyre is turned, it's catching the arch. We sort of were limited with roll on the front, where we're limited with bump on the rear. I had to space down the bump stops, put like a 15mm packer under the bump stops, so it's going to contact the bump stop about 15 or 20mm before it hits the arch in roll. So in the front I've actually put on quite a lot of caster. It was about 2 degrees of caster when I got the car, and now it's 4, which is a lot. But this car has standard shock tops, so for me to adjust the caster I had to adjust the tension strut in there, and I actually had to cut 5mm off the tension strut to be able to get the wheel that far forward. Now 4 is probably a lot. It might start affecting the rear. The bottom arms in this car are all adjustable, but the kingpin angle is still in the standard location, so right down through the shock to the bottom ball joint. So that's down to around the edge of the tyre here. So that makes the scrub radius on this car about 100mm. What we could do is I could pull the wheel in. There's about 15mm gap between the wheel and the shock. You could probably get that to a 10mm gap. That will help our arch clearing, and it will also bring the scrub radius in 10mm. Can't just buy a fancy kit for the front, so we'd have all adjustable kingpin angles and wouldn't be getting caught out with scrub radiuses and just have a little bit more adjustability, but we'll make it work with what we have.